All right, but continuing on with our vocational schools in their second year. Let's talk about their second year.
Our second year.
Oh my.
There's not a lot to say. There was a kid that used to like NASCAR that now is a full fucking weeb. There was me who had come out of my shell, and I was kind of friends with everybody in the class at the time. There were like a few people that I was just I wasn't like associated with, but I was still friends with.
Yeah. Our second year like class, like the second year class roster went like okay, because here's the thing. It went from like a class of 20 to 30 for like the entire class of our first years to like only 10 for a second, maybe less than that.
Well, for the first years, we had a class of 12 to 15, I'll say.
Yeah,
and
which
we went
was still
down
smaller than last year.
We went down to 9.
Mm-hmm.
And then we had new first years that filled up the area that we used to fill up.
Mm-hmm. I think the class was just as big. No, it was a little bigger than than our first year, if I remember correctly, because there were more second years, and then like the first years also like there was a few more. There's gonna be even more this year now that I think about it.
Yeah, it's gonna be cancer.
I feel bad because there's so many like people, but anyway, so
I hope they all get corona and fucking die.
So at this point, we've learned all about Photoshop, and we learned all about like Premiere Pro, and like we were just starting to get into fucking After Effects.
Some of us have learned all about Photoshop.
Oh yeah, true.
And some of us have learned all about Premiere Pro.
He's talking about you know Photoshop quite well.
And I know jack shit about Premiere Pro.
And then I'm the complete opposite.
Even though I edit using Premiere Pro now.
Okay. I know jack shit about Sony Vegas, even though I edit a lot or edit my videos using it. I'm like a huge editor. So, or no, excuse me. I know jack shit about Photoshop, even though I work a lot in Photoshop because I have to work on thumbnails and shit for my YouTube channel.
Yeah.
Because thumbnails are fucking important for a YouTube channel. But I know jack shit about Photoshop. The only thing I know how to do is just type with the impact font and use blending options. That's all I know how to fucking do. It doesn't take a key fucking genius to know that's what I use for my thumbnails, which works sometimes. But I know jack shit about Photoshop, but I know a lot about Sony Vegas.
And so I know quite a bit about Photoshop, and my thumbnails suck ass. Like, look, here's one really shit one. Have fun with that.
Yeah.
I'll send you it.
I was going to say, you're going to have to send me that. Or, because I can right-click and do that, but it would be very pixelated as shit. But
it's still probably going to be pixelated as shit. I'm horrible at making thumbnails.
I don't blame you. I am too. Because the thing about making thumbnails for YouTube is that you got to make it correctly or else it's not going to get fucking views. Because title, tags, the video its fucking self is important. But the most important thing about a YouTube video is the thumbnail. Because if you do a bad job with the thumbnail, people are just not going to click it.
Which right now, you can tell I'm just playing with ideas for my thumbnails.
That's the same way that I am. Because I've done a lot of, like, because you got to clickbait no matter what, but you can't, like, really, like, clickbait terribly, like 2015 clickbait. You could still clickbait and make it successful because obviously if it's a successful video, it was successful clickbait, of course. But to go back onto our main topic here, our second year was just, it was, there isn't a lot of stories to really be told, but it is because of the fact that we only were there for like barely over half the fucking year before we got kicked out thanks to this stupid pandemic.
Yeah.
Well, not really kicked out, it's just they closed down and they never reopened because schools closed for the rest of the year once they closed down for once. But, which sucks because we're both seniors, we graduated this year, so it sucks, but, you know, what else can you do?
Calling anonymous bomb threats.
Yeah.
Not to the school.
Not to the school. God. Anyway. So I guess we'll first talk about our first live production, which was a complete 180 from the first year's first production. Okay. So we decided that we were not going to repeat the shit show that was the first year live production of us. So we were like, okay, we're going to actually take some time. We're going to fucking plan this out. And we're going to actually, like, pre-record our shit because back then we didn't really pre-record anything.
We were allowed to pre-record for this one because it was supposed to be an SNL clone parody.
Yeah. So we were like, okay, we're just going to, you know, come up with a bunch of, like, skits, and we're just gonna go with that.
Record them, choose the best ones, and those ones make it. The other ones don't.
Yep.
Which honestly, I'm still pissed that my skit didn't get
Which one was...
put in. I liked the Beyond Scared Straight one.
Oh yeah. The thing is that one, because our live productions usually shouldn't go for more than like 10 to 15 minutes.
That one was full improv for a good 10 to 15 minutes.
Yeah, that I was sitting like behind the camera, and I was like, I had the thing recording. I saw the timer going on. Like every so often, I would look into like the camera thing to see like the time, and I was like, holy shit, it's 10 fucking minutes, and they're still going on.
How is that fucking retard Lee not broken character yet?
Yeah, because you were just sitting there, just going, like you were on like you were playing somebody who was like on acid.
I was
or
playing
something.
somebody on immense amounts of copious amounts of drugs. Like what I did to get the shake effect, which I can't even do it on command anymore after that, but
Yeah.
I downed 4 kickstarts.
Oh god! And the thing is, I'm not much of a like an energy drink guy myself, or like kickstart drinker myself, until the second year of Impact, where I was like, "Fuck it, I down fucking kickstart after kickstart after kickstart every single fucking day." And that fucking sucks because my body can't handle that shit. I had terrible stomach aches some days, and I couldn't go to work some days because of my terrible ass stomach aches. But so our live production was fucking awesome. Okay. Because we had one of our classmates who was really fucking amazing.
He is very good on camera, very comfortable on camera.
Yeah, like he did a perfect SNL intro, and it was the skits themselves were amazing. Because we had one skit, our first, I don't remember the skits in order. We had one skit that was
Wayne's World.
Yeah, Wayne's World.
And then we had an original SNL skit that was the van down by the river.
Oh yeah, which I was a part of. And the thing is like when we were recording it, because I never read the script.
Neither did I.
Well, yeah, you could tell in the skit because you were the one that was supposed to say a lot of shit, and you were just like sitting there and you were like looking down at the script,
down at the table.
Yeah, down at the table where the script was at, and you were like barely looking up at times. Or like you were, but like you could definitely tell that you were looking at the.
It was
the
funny.
script.
It was funny because it was bad though. That's what was good about it.
But while we were recording that, there was a part which I didn't freaking know because I didn't read it all the way, that he was supposed to pick me up and stuff like that. We're gonna be pals. Lifts me up and like throws me on the back on the couch. Fucking terrified the shit out of me when we were recording it.
The look of terror on this man's face.
I was terrified. I remember in the actual recording, because we did it twice. The first time I got lifted up, and I was just like, what the fuck? The second time I got lifted up, I got planted down. I was like, okay, fuck it, I'm gonna play dead. So I played fucking dead. And then I had to get up again. I was like, wait, don't go back. I had to do that part. It was fucking amazing, okay? It was hilarious too because there's a part in it where the guy has to like crash through the table. And we had to make a makeshift table out of a box.
We had to record it twice.
We had to record it twice, which looked pretty shitty if you look at the actual table itself.
The second time that we used the breakaway table.
Yeah, it was fucking garbo.
It was just cardboard boxes.
Yeah. Another skit like that we did before was like what you said before. They just like were there were two of our classmates just messing around or whatever, doing things with like the guitar or whatever.
Yeah.
I've
never actually seen Wayne's World, so I didn't really get it, but I knew that was what it was meant to be.
Yeah. And there was one, I thought there was one more skit. I can't remember much about it, but
I remember the host making fun of the piano players, not dead parents, fuck.
Divorced, yeah. But he's just, we told him to make that joke and stuff like that, and have the pianist in the background like smash his head on the piano, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
There was also a hilarious part, like, because me and you were working the cameras and stuff like that. We were working the cameras, and we had our like headsets on. I had like a gigantic fucking box the size of what the fuck, like the fucking size. I can't think of something.
The size of like a can.
Yeah, the size of that can right there, except it was a box. So fucking I was like, okay, I'm holding this entire, like, this heavy motherfucking box in my hand because I didn't have anything to hook it on to. So I was like, all right, I'm gonna set it down. I set it down lightly, and all I hear from you, because you
let me say it.
You okay? So what he's gonna say? He whispered in my ears.
I go, Taylor, if you fucking drop that, I swear to God, I will rip your dick off and shove it down your throat. And technically, that very moment is where my character that I do for YouTube was born, because I like saying just edgy shit and stuff.
Yeah, it's fucking. We had, and then the most hilarious part, I think, in my opinion, was when there was a person who was working like the TriCaster. I'll call it TriCaster. Who gave us the commands and shit like that. Because I won't call him by name. It's hard to describe him, but you know who I'm talking about.
Yeah.
But
he's like the chillest guy in
He
class.
was super fucking chill. Okay. The chillest fucking guy in the entire building. But he whispered, like, after,
he says into the mic after I've said this, he goes, "What the fuck?"
I'm going to just turn my microphone off.
I'm just going to turn my microphone off.
I'm like, me and Yoda are trying our hardest not to die of laughter.
Our classmate who was supposed to be like the producer, the on-set producer, is trying to figure out what we're dying laughing over.
Yeah, like we're right next to him and he's just like, what the fuck are you two laughing about?
We had to be dead quiet because all of our mics could be picked up because it was midway through a skit.
Yeah. I think it was also because like no, never mind. I was gonna say like because there was possibly a dangling microphone from the ceiling, but that's not how we had it mic'd up or whatever. So, oh my god, it was. So you could tell that we had a lot more fun in our second year's first live production. It's hard to fucking say now that I think about it. Sorry to say it, but then we looked at the AM class. Oh my god.
Okay, so AM and PM were separate.
Yeah. So, first year, the AM class was really good at live productions.
They blew us out of the fucking water every time.
The next year was the complete opposite. We blew them out of the fucking water.
The only time we did a production.
A good fucking production, might I add. So, theirs was a game show, but they did a fucking awful job at this game show.
It was purely unscripted.
And everything was so badly timed watching it, because like they would start the recording after the intro would happen, the contestants would walk out like 1 minute after each other.
They'd say a question, then they were trying to guess what somebody was thinking they are.
Yeah. And then one of the fucking questions to put this live production summed up was somebody literally asked the person, "Are you a pie?"
Are you a pie? Not a pie.
A pie.
A pie.
A pie. And we were watching that back. We were all like, what? And that
became a meme.
It became the meme of the fucking school year for us. It was.
It legitimately took Big Jim's place as the meme of the school year.
Yeah, because Big Jim became a fucking meme after his little meltdown, I'll call it, in first year. Because it was even a meme. I felt like it was a bigger meme in the second year.
Big Jim pulled a Gabby Hanna.
Yeah, because every time, like, because for like weeks after that, we were like, oh my god, he's going to come back and he's going to shoot this place up probably. And we thought about that. We jokingly thought about that during the second year. He's like, oh, because we got like every so often we got like knocks on the doors and stuff like that for people to come in. We were like, oh my god, he's coming back.
You said,
oh, fuck.
Beep his name.
Sorry.
Also, I have AIDS.
I'm not surprised. Anyways, so it was let's just say it was a very entertaining first production of that second year, but not as entertaining as the good old Photoshop test from hell.
I told this story in my second Pokemon Nuzlocke third Pokemon Nuzlocke video, third and final, because it wasn't getting views and my impressions hit 0%.
Yeah. So this story here is going to haunt me for the rest of my life if I ever meet anybody from that class ever again, like 20 years down the line. So what happened was we had to do a Photoshop test in our second year just so they could say like, oh, well, yeah, you can obviously do this thing and you can obviously color the freaking wall a good green color, which I couldn't do, as you'll hear here in just a second. So our Photoshop test was we had to do like 5 or 6. Was it 6 or? It was like 5 or 6 like different tasks.
Yeah.
Like one of them was that you had to like
straighten out a picture. Another
one was that you had to like get rid of like all the creases and stuff like that, all the scratches, make it look like it was natural. Yeah. And then you had to use like a mask on another one. And then another one was that you had to color in the walls or something like that, change the color of just the wall of a wedding picture. Which, let me just say, that wedding picture was fucking creepy.
It was very creepy watching fucking Jim and Jan fucking stare at you.
Yeah, and like they were almost half naked.
Yeah,
like both of them were.
It
was creepy as shit. But so the whole point of the test is that you're not supposed to like look off others or like cheat or whatever. I put air quotes on cheat because like you're not supposed to like.
I'm not supposed to push you in the right direction like I did.
Yeah. So, up to this point, like I think everybody there's had like at least one mental breakdown doing that test because
easy.
Well, yeah, for you, as somebody who knows and loves Photoshop,
somebody who's going to school for graphic design.
Yeah, but here I am. I'm sitting here and like because we were also on a time limit, which was, but so I used up like over half my time, I think, on like several different ones, and I had to get this one done quicker than the others, but I was just having a hard time painting the wall. I remember I think the way that I did it was I like made a selection of the wall that I was like, all right, I'm just gonna paint over it or whatever, like
paint in the lines,
brush
tool in the line.
Yeah, and if the instructor listens to this part of the podcast, which I don't know, she may, but if she does, it's in the past, but don't fail this man. Taps me on the shoulder, like this man right here in front of me, taps me on the shoulder, like he sits to the left of me, taps my left shoulder. I look over to him and he's all like, you could have just done this.
Bring up the sliders, retard.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm like looking over at his screen for like a moment and he's like doing everything so much faster. He tells me, like, almost tells me exactly how to do it. And I'm just like, motherfucker. So my plan, because at the time, because I always did this, I don't know why, but like the biggest thing that I would always do was I would lift my head up and like just pretend to smash my head on the table or whatever as a sign of like, oh, I'm being fucking retarded or something.
Yeah,
like that.
pretend.
Yeah, pretend. It didn't happen this time. All right, so put in the context here. The entire classroom is dead quiet. You could hear a pin drop. You could hear like this, like you could literally hear anything from the outside. If anything passed by, like a fucking car or whatever. It was quiet.
You could even hear like the neighbor lady beating her fucking husband again.
Yeah. Which did happen maybe once or twice.
We put like, this is a joke.
This is a joke, never happened. But it was all dead quiet. And I'm just like, okay, so give me a second. All right. So we're in a dead quiet room. I look over to Dakota to see, he's completely done it faster than me. I'm looking over at him. I turn back. I lift my head back. And I threw it forward. And at this point, I was like, okay, I'm going to stop myself before I hit the desk. The next thing that everybody hears,
boom,
is a loud crash.
Oh,
because I never stopped my head from hitting the desk. And I hit it at like a solid like 3 miles an hour.
It was a thing of beauty.
It was a thing of beauty. I also hurt my hand doing that. Oh, and I also fucked up my camera doing that too. All right. Anyways, so fucking, I smashed my head on the desk, which by the way, I didn't feel anything for whatever fucking reason. I like hit it, and I was like, what?
Who hit that desk?
I mostly felt confusion. I was like, wait, what happened? And like I felt my neck get sore. Like I hit it like right at the tip of my forehead, like right here. But like it was the back of my head that hurt the most. And then like the most hilarious part, everybody, you were laughing your fucking ass off. The person next to me was like, "What the fuck are you doing?" The next guy over, like two seats down, I like look over at him. He looks over at me. He's like, "Can you stop being fucking retarded?"
It was just even the assistant teacher couldn't keep a straight face at that. You're just lucky that the primary teacher was not in the room.
Yeah, primary teacher would have fucking killed me. Fucking, but the assistant teacher walked over and she was like, "What the? I'm just gonna continue on." She didn't even say a word. She just looked at me. She's just like,
She was helping a first year with something, and she just looked up, stared at you, looked pissed, and then just went back to what she was doing.
yeah, she didn't even say anything. It was. I was just like, oh. For the rest of the day, all I could think about was, I'm a fucking retard.
Oh my god.
And it became, I think that became like an even bigger meme or whatever than "Are you a pie?" Because like,
It was just the fact of everything that happened
at that
in
moment,
that very moment.
yeah, I was, oh god, it still haunts me to this day because I wanted to stop myself, but I didn't stop myself, and like I hit the desk, and I was just like, holy fuck, what the hell? It was like when you like take a hit of acid or something, you're just like, what the fuck's happened? What the fuck happened? I was just like, oh my, I didn't know I hit the desk until I like felt a little pain in my neck and then like a little bit of pain in the.
He sat still for just a second.
I sat still,
and then everything hit him.
I sat still for a moment. I was just like, oh god,
Ouch.
ow, fucking you were dying. You were dying. I think you had to get up because you laughed. You were laughing so hard.
I actually got up and went to the bathroom,
okay.
and just started dying, fucking laughing.
Yeah, because it was. Oh my god! And then, the whole point of like the bigger thing that happened during the second year or whatever,
Yeah,
was we also like started doing different kind of like audio stuff. Because,
Yeah.
you know, instead of like doing videos and graphic design, we also did audio stuff for our first and second year.
there were like, what, 2 podcasts
Yeah.
in our class itself?
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like I want to shout one of them out, but like they haven't been a thing for like months,
Yeah.
unfortunately. But they were like a real cool podcast.
Are you talking like, are you talking culture?
Yeah, cool. Yeah. So,
I think that their channel might still be active.
I was going to say, like, because
I know that the primary group from them went on to streaming and stuff.
Yeah, because they can't really do podcasts because they don't have a setup for podcasts. So, I mean, I don't know. I really want to shout them out, but I don't know if I should give off their name or not. I
just shout them out and then decide in post. That's what I do.
I mean,
If I make a joke about wanting somebody to die of cancer,
this is 2013 kind of stuff, Bo. I mean, we're trying to bring it back, to be honest.
I like cut that shit immediately because I'm like, damn, that was in poor taste. Like in one of my Cuphead videos, you have to fly a plane, and I said something about being the shittiest pilot in Saudi Arabia because I couldn't crash. And I don't know if I left it in or not, honestly.
Oh, God. I'll have to watch that later.
That's on my newest episode. It's not
Mhm.
out yet.
Mhm.
Drops Monday.
Okay. Fucking, so one of because I'm not going to really talk about the other podcasts that I used to, I've done many different podcasts.
Taylor's a podcast guy.
Yeah, because I've done podcasts ever since like 2017, before I even went to that kind of place. Except like all of the podcasts that I've done, except for this one so far, have flopped.
PFLRS.
Fucking hell. That's a throwback for like last year. Anyway, but all the podcasts that I've done have flopped, and because mainly they were about like they involve like a group or whatever. And I don't know what it is with me and group podcasts, but they just don't work. Sometimes they do. It's just like it's
because the group that was pulled together was the group of toxic people.
that is true, to be honest. I was one of them, to be honest. But I've said the other kind of podcast before in this podcast before, but I don't really want to bring it up because it was meaningless drama.
Yeah,
it was meaningless drama that unfortunately I was involved in, and I don't want to talk much about it.
And the podcast was a good platform. It just like we stretched stuff out too much.
Yeah.
There was a lot better we could have done.
Yeah. It's just, like I said, it was just a flopped fucking podcast like all the others that I've done before. Because I used to do a racing podcast called the Smashing Splitters podcast, which...
I didn't even know about that one.
Yeah. It literally ran for like 2 episodes, but like the reason why it stopped was because of the fact that the group of like racing buddies that I have, okay, I still talk to them to this day. They know that, I do this kind of podcast. They just don't watch it because, of course, they're not fucking weebs.
Fuck them.
Yeah.
Fuck you guys.
Yeah.
Come to my channel. Give me hate.
Fucking,
If I say something too edgy, just beat me. Just cut me off.
that's fine. It's the freaking Japanaholic podcast.
Put me down.
Anyway, but it just never worked out, and there's always a lot of drama that goes on with those racing buddies, and we're trying to kind of change ourselves with that. We thought about bringing it back, but obviously there's way too many podcasts, especially about racing nowadays and about everything nowadays. So the thing that I hate though is that there's a podcast for everything, including like the meaningless stuff like COVID. So but
Not real.
yeah. It's all fake shit. But yeah, we used to do like in our school or whatever. We did like an audio drama, which they were beautiful, but ours sucked a lot.
Oh wait, we had T in our group, didn't we?
Yeah. Yeah. Which he can't voice act worth shit.
Can't act normal worth shit. I'm pretty sure his sister just tested positive for COVID too.
Good God.
I shouldn't laugh at that, but it was just
Good
I
God.
fucking can't help it.
But the entire like audio portion of that school was cool. It helped me with like getting good sounding quality for podcasts and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But it also brings back just kind of like terrible memories of like my old podcasts and shit like that. And thankfully I've kind of switched out of that and tried to make a podcast where I can talk about whatever the fuck I want, whenever the fuck I want.